I would definitely say right off the rip, if you plan on doing something like this, for the love of God, do your research. Because, like, personally, for me, it was a struggle. Like, I had to ask countless people, even though, like, there's so many YouTube videos out there that explains this stuff. It's kind of hard to understand it when you're watching a video. But personally, for me, I prefer, like, you know, actually talking to somebody when it comes to, like, building something like this. And let me just tell you, man, like, right off the bat, it does cost quite a bit, okay? But if you're in this hobby, you will understand that it's not exactly a cheap hobby to be in. Like, you can have a couple of tanks here and there, etc., but when you start getting into bigger fish, more expensive fish, you need a big and expensive tank when you have those. Like, I know that's not necessarily true all the time, but the type of fish that I'm keeping currently and plan on getting to put in this tank, they are quite pricey and they do need a lot of room to swim. So hence why we're doing the 400-gallon build. If you hear something going on below me, my dog is like right here. He doesn't like the sanding or anything like that, so he's a little bit sketched out. Ain't you, buddy? Let's get into a couple more things about this tank and the process of, you know, me building it and whereabouts I currently am within this build. For me, what the most difficult thing actually was making sure that your tank is completely square. Like, I know majority of people are gonna say, well, you know, if you're building something like this, you should already like kind of have the skill to make everything straight cuts, you know, make sure that your measurement from like the back to the front of the tank is completely dead on. I will be honest with you, this side over here, I'm off by like 1/8 of an inch. I'm not worried about it, you know, like, and if there was a huge thing, oh my gosh, if there was a huge issue, I wouldn't see many people doing the same thing, like on YouTube when it comes to building this kind of tank. And at the end of the day, 1/8 of an inch isn't gonna matter, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, when it comes to building something, you think like a house is top notch, every cut straight, an angle isn't a little bit off, or, you know, from point A to point B, it's not completely straight. Like, it's not. It's not completely straight. It's obviously off a little bit. No one is that precise when it comes to cutting stuff, unless you have your sectional lumber that is like your 3 foot, your 4, your 5, your 6, your 7, 8, your 9, your 10 foot, whatever. They're already pre-cut. But fun fact is, I actually got pre-cut lumber at 7 foot, and I had a couple of pieces that are actually under and over 7 foot. So either way, I had to cut my own lumber, okay? And I know how to use a saw. I have a, you know, I have a whole tool shed like in my garage. Like, I have everything I need to cut this straight, etc. I think what happened was, when I was doing this side, when I built the framing for the window, obviously you cut, you know, your 3 foot, and then you have like your 6 inches, I think, of 2x4s sandwiched together, like as you can see right here. I think when I installed the back one, I didn't put my square on it and make sure it was all square and then tighten it up. I think I like just pushed it, put a level on it, and was like a straight, and then nailed it in. Well, screwed it in, I should say. Number 2 would be if you do a different stand. I went the cinder block way because there's a lot of people over the internet who recommend, like, A, it's cheap, you know, and it's effective. It can hold quite a bit of weight. I think I spent $28 on 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, like 24 or something like that. 24. Dude, what do you want from me? I think I spent roughly like $26 on the cinder blocks, which to me, is chump change. Sorry, my dog's biting my hand. I think I spent like literally $26 on cinder blocks. Cheap, right? Now, you know, you could probably build a wooden stand for way more that may possibly hold a little bit more weight, but it's only 300 gallons or 400 gallons or whatever it is. I think it's 400, sorry, 400. And I think it's like maybe just over 3,000 pounds, which these cinder blocks are 100% gonna be fine. I will say, you know, King of DIY always is on point with his stuff, and he has a 16 foot by 3 foot, I think, fish tank on cinder blocks itself. Has it broken? Has it chipped? Has it busted? No, it hasn't. So I went away and did a stand. that was obviously cinder blocks. If you want to do a wood one, then go for it. If you're already going to spend the money on a tank like this that you're going to build, you clearly have, you know, the money to build it. Ow, he's chewing me. So if you want to build wood, then go ahead. I just wanted it to be cheap and effective, and it worked. I mean, it was less work for me to build a stand, you know, out of cinder blocks, because it's quick. As far as cuts go on the tank, like the plywood and stuff, I do have gaps, and in a second I'll show you. I have gaps where you know, the birch plywood meet each other. But again, going back to YouTube, a lot of people have done this, and their gaps are bigger than mine. I think my bigger gap is actually on this back. You can actually see it. It's probably a little bit over 1/8 of an inch, maybe be 1/8, to be honest. To be honest, it's fine. Like, you're gonna fiberglass it. Like, it's getting fiberglassed, you know. I'm doing at least 5 coats of Pond Shield. The most expensive thing on this tank up to this point is going to be the birch wood. Now, for 4 foot by 8 foot birch, I think like just over 1/2 inch thick, runs me $80 a sheet. And I had to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to buy 6. The only reason why I had to buy 6 is because I messed up my cut. I got home, I was really pumped to start working on the tank, and I ended up just messing it up. I did 2 cuts wrong, I did them backwards, so I was trying to, you know, use the leftover wood from, I think it was the bottom, yeah. I had leftover wood from the bottom that I could get maybe 2 sides out of it, because my sides are only, I think, 36 by 36 or something like that. So I was like, perfect, I'll just use that. Well, long day at work, came home, went to go do it, completely messed it up, had to go out and buy another sheet. And luckily enough, I got the 2 sides completed. Now, I do have a bunch of like spare birch wood, right? And I'm like, well, I could probably just kind of like, I could probably go ahead and just cut them up, right? And just do panels, just do 2 panels together, cut them straight. And I was like, nah, that could be a breaking point. You know, if you get 2 things, it could blow out, whatever. So I said, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go out and buy another one. So I took the Subaru, went to the hardware store, literally cut the pieces in half and stuck them in the back of the car. I actually did break some stuff in my car doing it. Wouldn't recommend that. You have a truck, use it. If you don't, rent one, because clearly I messed that up.